Okay, welcome everyone. This is 11.3, finding complex solutions of quadratic equations. And in this class, we skipped, there's essentially two ways of finding complex solutions of quadratic equations because we cannot factor, right? So factoring is out when we have complex solutions. So there are two ways, essentially, to find these complex solutions. And the first way we skipped, we're going to put it later on in this class, but it's completing the square. So this video is not going to go into completing the square, but we are going to talk about the last way is the quadratic equation. Okay, so the quadratic equation or quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, all over. Okay, so it does go over the negative b as well. Okay, so we are going to use that to find complex solutions. Okay, so let's talk about this. All right. If I plug my a, my b, and my c into this quadratic formula, when do I have complex solutions? When what? When this part of my quadratic formula, the b squared minus 4ac, is what? Is negative, right? Because that's when I would have an imaginary number, I, correct? Or that's when I would have a complex solution. When this b squared minus 4ac is negative, correct? So this b squared minus 4ac tells me a lot about the type of solutions I have, okay? And in terms of math, the b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant. Okay, so the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. Okay. Okay. So the discriminant here tells me a lot. We already established that if b squared minus 4ac is negative or is less than 0, that would lead me into having two complex or non-real solutions. Why is it 2? Why do I have 2 complex or non-real solutions? Huh? Why do I have 2 of them and not just 1? Huh? Examine the quadratic formula. Why do I have 2? Yeah, because of the plus or the minus, right? It's going to be negative b plus an imaginary number divided by 2a, and negative b minus the imaginary number divided by 2a. That's why I have 2 of them, okay? If b squared minus 4ac, the discriminant, is equal to 0, then what do you think I would have? What type of solutions would I have? Or if it equals 0, do I have 1 solution or 2 solutions? Yes, I would have one solution. Because it's negative b plus, what's the square root of 0? 0, right? Negative b plus 0 is just negative b over 2a. Negative b minus 0 is just negative b over 2a. Correct? So I would have the exact same number, right? Because I'm adding or subtracting 0. So I have one real solution. And I can take it a step further, and that solution would be negative b over 2a. Okay? All right. So then what if b squared minus 4ac, the last scenario, is greater than 0? What would have then if it's greater than 0? If it's greater than 0, I would have two real solutions, right? Again, 2 because the plus and the minus, and it's real because the square root of a positive number is a real value, right? Square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3. Yeah, so it'd be negative b plus or minus 3, which is still a real number, divided by 2a. Okay? So the discriminant tells me what type of solutions I have. Cool? All right. Now let's get into some examples. Okay? And this part is really simple because you guys already know how to use the quadratic formula. You guys know how to pull out or simplify the square root of a negative number, right? So really quick, example 1 would be negative 5x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So when we solve this, remember the steps. We need to make one side equal to 0, which it is, right? And so my a value here would be negative 5. My b value here would be negative 2. And my c value here would be negative 8. Okay? So I'll just plug it into my quadratic formula. X equals negative b, so negative negative 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So that's negative 2 squared minus 4a, negative 5c, negative 8, all over 2 times a, which is negative 5, right? And then we go on and we just simplify, okay, which is quite simple, just a lot of numbers. Negative times a negative is a positive, so positive 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared is 4. Negative times a negative times a negative, that's going to be a negative, right? So I know it's going to be a minus 4, or let's go 5 times 8. What's 5 times 8? 40 times 4. What's 40 times 4? 160 over 2 times negative 5, which is negative 10. Right? Simplifying it down even more, 2 plus or minus square root of negative 156 divided by negative 10. Okay? So this would be x equals 2 plus or minus I square root of 156, correct? Yeah? If there's a negative in my square root, I take it out and I just put an I on it, right? Over negative 10. So x is going to equal 2 plus or minus 156. How do I break down 156? Can I pull out a perfect square? Can I pull out a 4? 4 times what? 39. 39. I can pull out a 3. 3 and a 13, right? So 4 times 3 times 13 equals 156. I know 3 and 13, I cannot do anything else with it. So this 39 will stay inside. Square root of 4 is 2. So this would be plus or minus 2i square root of 39. All over negative 10. Okay. Okay. And so what can I factor out of the top? I can factor out a 2, right? So that'll be 1 plus or minus I square root of 39 over negative 10. Now, this 2 and this 10 can cancel out, make 1 and 5. So your answer would be 1 plus or minus I square root of 39 over negative 5. Yes. I pulled out a 2, right? I took out a 2 because 2, I can pull out a 2 plus or minus 2i, I can pull out a 2. Yeah, on the top in my numerator. Well, after I pulled out the 2, I found out that 2 can go into 10 5 times, so I just simplified that. Okay? And now since I have imaginary number, yeah, I must check it. Okay? I'm gonna have to check it to see if it works. Okay? So my two solutions here are that x equals 1 plus I square root of 39 over negative 5 and 1 minus I square root of 39 over negative 5, correct? Yeah. So if I put this negative on the top, I would have x equals negative 1 plus, or negative 1, I'm sorry, minus square root of 39, I square root of 39 over 5, and negative 1 plus I square root of 39 over 5. And now my original equation was this, negative 5x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. And I must check it by plugging in let's plug in this guy into here. Okay. Huh? So we're going to plug in -1 minus I square root of 39 over 5 squared, -1 minus I square root of 39 over 5. Okay? So -5 times x squared, instead of x, I'm going to plug in this, one of my solutions, squared, minus 2x, instead of x, I plug in this solution, minus 8 equals 0. Okay? So this would be -5 times -1 minus I squared root of 39 squared over 5 squared is 25 minus, I'm going to distribute the negative out there. So that's positive 2 plus 2I squared root of 39 over 5 minus 8 equals 0. This is where the special form, if you know the special form, it would come in handy. Okay? That special form would be -1 squared minus 2 times -1 times I squared root of 39 plus I squared root of 39 squared all over 25. Okay? And that's -5 as well. Simplifying this, stay with me. I feel the questions already in the air. -5 times -1 squared is 1, so that's 1 over 25 plus 2I squared root of 39 over 25. I squared times 39 over 25. One over 25 plus 2I squared root of 39 over 25. I squared is -1, right? So that's -39 over 25. Okay? So what's 1 minus 39? What is 1 minus 39? That'll be -38 over 25 plus 2I squared root of 39 over 25, correct? So if I plug this back in, I'm just going to get positive 38 over 5 plus 2I squared root of 39 over 5. I'm going to put all of this back down here. 2 over 5 plus 2I squared root of 39 over 5 minus 8 equals 0. Okay. Now, -5 times a positive is a negative. So notice that, stay with me, this and this they cancel out. So 38 plus 2, that's 40 over 5 minus 8. What is 40 over 5? 8. Okay, so 8 minus 8 is 0, so 0 equals 0. And check that. So this is the next example. 7x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals -1. Remember, the first step is to make one side equal to 0. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides, right? Making my right-hand side equal to 0. So this is 7x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. Okay? So then you can try and factor. You can try and see if factoring works. It won't in this example. Okay? So I'm going to use my quadratic formula. A equals 7, B equals 2, C equals 4. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? So simplifying this, it would be -2 plus or minus the square root of 4. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 times 4, 106, right? 96? 96, yeah. 28. 28 times 7, 112. 112 divided by 2 times 7, that's 14. So x equals -2 plus or minus the square root of -108 divided by 14. Just know that I'm going to take out that I and work with 108, the positive version, right? What can I take out, or what two numbers multiply to 108? 18 and 6, okay? 18 times 6. 18 is 3 times 6. So this is going to be 6 square root of 3, right? So this is going to be 6i square root of 3. That makes sense? Plus or minus -2 over 14 equals x. So x equals, I can take out a 2. That would be -1 plus or minus 3i square root of 3 over 14. And now the 2 and the 14, 2 goes into 14 7 times. So my answer now would be -1 plus or minus 3i square root of 3 all over 7. That would be my answer. Okay? So I have two solutions here, right? Yeah. And I need to check my answers. So I'm going to just take one of them. Because if one of them works, both of them would work. Okay? So I'm going to take x equals -1 plus or minus 3i square root of 3 over 7. And to make life a little easier, I'm going to distribute out that 7, essentially, by 1 over 7 plus, well, I put the plus and the minus, 3i square root of 3 over 7. Okay, I'm going to split it up like that. Okay? So my original equation, you can see right here. So that's going to be 7 times squared plus 2 times plus 3 equals -1. So 1 over 7 plus 3i squared root of 3 over 7. And 1 over 7 plus 3i squared root of 3 over 7. Right? Okay. When you square this, all I'm doing, class, I'm going to just put that 7 outside, is I'm squaring the first term. Okay? It's a plus, so I'm adding 2 times the first term times the second term. Okay? And then I'm going to add the second term squared. That's it. Okay? Now I'm going to simplify this by 7 times 1 over 49 plus 2 times 1 is 2 times 3 is 6. So this is 6i squared root of 3 over 7 times 7 is 49 plus 3i squared, that's 9i squared, correct? Times square root of 3 squared is 3. Over 7 squared is 49. Okay? Now I see an I squared, so I'm going to cancel that out, make a negative here. So that's -9 times 3. So that's 7 times 1 over 49 plus 6i squared root of 3 over 49 minus 27 over 49, because 9 times 3 is 27. Right? And it's a minus because we have negative. Right? And I don't need this. So what's 1 over 49 minus 27 over 49? -26 over 49 plus 6i squared root of 3 over 49. And if you distribute out this 7, 7 goes into 49, right? Yeah. So this will just be -26 over 7 plus 6i squared root of 3 over 7. Okay? So that's the first part here. And then this, I'm going to distribute this out. So 2 times 1 over 7 is 2 over 7. 2 times this thing is 6i square root of 3 over 7 plus 3 equals -1. Right? 26 plus 2, or -26 plus 2, that is -24 over 7. plus 12I squared root of 3 over 7 plus 3 equals -1. And class, right here, since these two guys do not cancel out, they're both pluses, right? It's not going to work out. Yeah, they do not cancel out, right? So you're going to be stuck with this, correct? If you're going to be stuck with a complex solution, it's just no solution. Okay? All right, so that's why you have to check sometimes, because sometimes your solution does not work. Okay? That is your lesson for 11.2.